The Oklahoma City Thunder is drastically overperforming any expectations I believe anybody had on them coming into this season. They are currently 24-11. Let me repeat that again. They are 24-11. They're currently only one game back from the number one seed in the entire Western Conference. I don't think anybody, the biggest OKC fan, could have expected this, but that's where they're currently ranked right now. You have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander genuinely in the MVP conversation for leading this team with ridiculous numbers from not only himself, but ridiculous numbers that he's leading this team to be. Currently, the OKC Thunder are not only top 10 in offense, they're also top 10 in defense. The advanced stats back up this team as a legit team that can genuinely potentially win an NBA championship, which is kind of crazy because just 2 years ago, this team was just talked about as a potential team. But now to see some of that potential actually flourish, and currently in today's NBA being one of those teams being so positive and being a genuine dark horse, right? I'm talking about a genuine dark horse to winning an NBA championship. It's just so crazy how far this OKC team as a collective have come from what they were in the past. But are they a genuine championship contender? Yes, they're second in the West, but we've seen plenty of teams in the past have great success in the regular season, especially only 35 games into the season, and far better success than what OKC is doing now, yet flame out in the playoffs and end up being the team we all expected them to be. But the way OKC is playing, how they performed against the top defense in Minnesota, how they performed against arguably what people would say is the best team in the NBA, the Boston Celtics, how they beat them and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in all showcase of the word, performed like a superstar. This OKC team looks for real, but how legitimate are they? And of course, it starts with the head of the snake, and I'm going to start with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I know usually the MVP people who are in the conversation, people always say they're in it because they have the wins, but no, if you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander numbers, you see he's legitimately in this conversation because of also his play. He's averaging 31 points a game, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, shooting 54% from the field, a career high 2.4 steals, and has a career true shooting this season of 64.6. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is also leading the NBA in drives per game. He's driving to the rim 23 exactly 0.0 times to the rim, leading the league pretty easily despite Ja, who's played an unlimited sample size. Other than Ja, he's clearly number one in that regard. And the reason why he's this unstoppable isn't because he has this freakishly athleticism. He doesn't have the shiftiness of a guy like Kyrie Irving, but it's because he can attack a defender's top foot in so many variety ways with crossovers, through the leg dribbles, just anything you can think of. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is always, and I do mean he is always, going to just find a way to get to the rim. And because of this value, it opens up the floor for his teammates to get open looks for threes. And that's been one of the biggest OKC Thunder's weaknesses, is their shooting. Now, that still plays them just a little bit today with the spacing lineups and certain lineups that they run. But Oklahoma City Thunder, from across the roster, from J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Kenrich Williams, all these guys I named are 40% plus three-point shooters with good volume. When you add such a premier slasher to the team and you give him legitimate guys that can hit that open three and just hit an open jumper consistently off his creation, because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is always going to find a way to the rim, and that's going to make other opposing defenses make up defensive coverages to shut that off. And one of those ways to do that is to send more bodies to him at the rim, which is going to help more defensive coverages in terms of having them in a scramble. Right now, they're going to do a little bit more help and recovers. You're going to have more switches to be able to patch up that, because you want to stop Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from getting all the way to the rim. And that helps the other teammates because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the better playmakers in the NBA. He's going to create those open looks for his teammates. He's going to create those looks for Chet Holmgren, J-Dub, Isaiah Joe, so long. They need to be able to capitalize on that advantage creation by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they've been doing a splendid job this season. It's the reason why Shai, even though his numbers, if you look at it, just took his base numbers, his 30 points, his assists, rebounds, field goal percentage, and compared it to just last year, it looks about the same. The impact is about the same, but it's a largely part due to his teammates are stepping up now. And because his teammates are stepping up now, his play is going to look better because now those creations that he's doing to hit open teammates aren't to non-spacers and non-shooters and guys who aren't confident. These are guys that are going to shoot the open three. These are guys that are going to put the ball on the floor and attack that scrambling defense and find another open guy in there so they can create an open shot and create high quality advantages for the team to better put themselves in a better position than the other team. And it starts with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander breaking down the point of attack to defender, because if we just keep it a buck, not a lot of defenders in the NBA, if any, can stay in front of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander one-on-one and actually try to stop him from getting to the rim. That's even if you sag off a little bit, because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can pull back for the middies that he's going to kill you with. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has really refined his game. Really, only the three-point shooting is really the only iffy part about of his offensive game, honestly, in terms of scoring, because everything else looks really, really polished. To me, it's going to translate in the playoffs no matter how you play him. It's going to translate. And I think that's a big, big component, especially if we're talking about OKC Thunder becoming a genuine championship contending team. This has to be taken into account. Of course, just because he's the head of the snake, he's going to get the most credit from me, but it's not only just been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who's been playing out of his mind this season. You got to give credit to the acquisition that they got from last year's draft that was injured and missed the entire year due to an injury, that's playing out of his mind this year. I'm talking about Chet Holmgren, who's been a historically elite rookie so far into this season. Not many rookies are going to average you 17 points out the gate on 54% from the field, on 40% from three, 81% from the line, on 65 true shooting. No rookie is going to be that efficient out the gate, because there's only been one so far into 35 games into this season. And you guessed it, that's Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren has just been insane offensively and defensively. I know a lot of people have been talking about Victor Wembanyama, and rightfully so, but I feel like a lot of the talk should be surrounded by Chet Holmgren as well, because I know they're performing really well. He has a really good team surrounded around him, but nobody expected him to perform this well going into the gate. And even if you did, you didn't expect his contributions to the OKC team to be this great, because once again, they're so far into 35 games into this season, the OKC Thunder are second in the West. So what Chet Holmgren is doing offensively, especially versatility wise, just can't be thrown under the wind, because this guy is legitimately one of the better three-point shooters, bigs in the NBA. And the reason why I bring that up is because he brings a different dynamic in the pick and roll, especially when I include Shai in that. That Shai and Chet pick and roll is a really deadly weapon, not only because he can roll into that empty space if they collapse too much attention onto Shai and make them pay while rolling, he can pop. And he adds that variety into it, because you have to take that into account, because he's a legitimate three-point shooter. He's taking about 4 attempts a game. He's gonna shoot it anytime he's open, and by percentage, he's making you pay. He shoots 40% from three. He's going to make you pay from the three-point line. And not only just as a pick and roll big is he that dangerous, he is very, very dangerous just alone as an isolation scorer as well. He's going to get his bucket, attacking the basket, doing that as well. Chet Holmgren is just a offensive rookie, has been insane. But I also got to bring up the defense, because his shot blocking and rim protection in general has been so good. I mean, the OKC Thunder team, especially last year, especially the second half of the season, their defense really locked in. It's one of the reasons why they made a real push to being in the playoffs and eventually lost in the play-in. It was because of their defense locking in. And it wasn't because they had notable defenders or anything. It was because they had very good defensive IQ, very good coaching, and their rotations were really, really crisp. But one thing they lacked in their defense, in my opinion, I believe a lot of people will agree with that, is they needed a legitimate rim protector. a legitimate deterrence around the rim to turn away shots at the rim, turn away dunks, layups, shots you would think would go in against them last year just isn't going to go in when Chet is just on the floor and he's around the paint area. Those things just don't happen when Chet's there because he's just that good shot blocker. He just creates so many more transition opportunities for OKC Thunder to capitalize on. Chet Holmgren, just legitimately to me right now, I think he should be the rookie of the year just off his play. And so far it's 35 games. Of course, that can change. But the way he's playing, the way he's bringing life to this OKC team, the way he's just manning that defensive unit as that anchor just has to be mentioned. And yes, just because these two are performing this well doesn't mean the OKC Thunder are going to legitimately be a title contender. Well, it hasn't just been them two. J-Dub as that secondary ball handler and that scorer has been very, very, very good as well. Lou Dort has been having a bit of a resurgent year in terms of action he's giving. You're talking about their other rookie, Cason Wallace, has been pretty good. Isaiah Joe has been very good this year as well. Kenrich Williams, right? Like, you're getting performances from your other guys that's helping you perform the way you are. I genuinely think this OKC team, again, say whatever you want. If you don't think they're a legitimate contender, that's fine. But you have to take them very seriously in the playoffs. I'm not thinking this team is just going to be the team that wins in the first round. They had their good year, their miracle year. No. This OKC team looks like they're ready for the playoffs. They looks like they're needed to be taken seriously, and we have to give them that level of respect. And a fact that I want to throw out there is that the OKC Thunder currently are the #1 half-court offense in the NBA. As we know in the playoffs, when the offense is slowed down and there's not much transition opportunities, it comes down to how efficient your half-court offense is against the opponent's defenses. And currently, in the NBA, the OKC Thunder are #1 in half-court offense by a pretty good gap. And they're also #4 in half-court defense. The OKC Thunder, just off play alone, have legitimately write themselves into one of those teams that can potentially win a championship. The only thing's holding you back really is the age, because even though they're performing as well as they are, as we know, the OKC Thunder are the second youngest team in the entire NBA. They're the second youngest team in the entire NBA, and they're performing this well. The drafts, the players they got from the drafts, the players they got from free agency are finally panning out. The players they also got from trades, they're performing very well so far into this season. And this can continue for the rest of the season. And I don't see it slowing down. I don't see any signs of it slowing down. And could this continue potentially in the playoffs? Because if it do, based on the numbers, this team can legitimately win a championship. This team shouldn't just be a dark contender, a dark horse contender. No, this team should legitimately be thought of as one of those teams that can win a championship, as the Boston Celtics, as the Denver Nuggets, as the LA Clippers, as the Milwaukee Bucks. The OKC Thunders have really been that good. Like, they've blown me away on how good they've been so far into this season. And they have so much more they can do, because they have so many more picks in these next upcoming drafts that they can use and package to acquire better players. You see that they're in trade talks for Lauri Markkanen. So right now, the OKC Thunder, especially Sam Presti, sees that they're looking to build a championship unit right now. They're looking to make their team better now and put them in contention, because they have the talent already to be one of those playoff teams. Now they need to look into how to get themselves into that next level of winning a championship, or they might already be there right now. But if they can get a little bit more talent from these drafts and trade them for better established pieces, yeah, this OKC Thunder team is going to be very, very, very legitimate for years to come. And I really think you need to take them seriously. And with that being said, let me know what you guys think of this OKC Thunder team. Do you guys think they should be put on that echelon as a legit contender? Let me know that down in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you guys thought of this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that post notification bell so you will always be notified whenever I upload another video. And with that all being said, I hope you all have a blessed day.